last Senior Max final of the season. And your grid is as follows. Hannes Morin and Patrik Rundqvist make it a Swedish front row ahead of Leroy Jägersar and Matilda Olsson, with Philip Vava and Robin Knutsson rounding out the top six. Mick Knowlton, the current series leader, with about a 24-point advantage coming into this final. Hannes Morin is saying that he's going to do all he can to win at the very front of the field. So Mick Knowlton will be alongside Mario Novak on row 4. David Remy and Mikkel Tigson round out the top 10 ahead of Piotr Świeżaczynski and Andre Walter on the 6th row. Peter Bezel and Fabian Bock round out row 7 ahead of Rick Buthorn, Stefan Voigtbar, Henri Jung, Fazio Fransen with Jusso Pantela and Emily de Hoys rounding out the top 20. Laurie Lepay and Lars van Vark are on row 11 ahead of Sebastian Belhossin from the Czech Republic and the UK's William Newnham. Jordi van der Eyck and Luna Blum are on row 13 ahead of Kairo Kivi, Julian Vertela, Una Oksanen, Laura Christova, Nick Cuppens and Rod Bijendik, who retired out of the first final, and Tim Rolke rounding out the 33 strong. 14 minutes plus an additional lap to go in this last Senior Max final of the season. And it looks like both Rundqvist and Morin are already controlling the initial pace on this rolling start procedure. They want to get this down absolutely inch perfect as they go through turn number 11. And the rest of the field now starting to bunch up into the 2x2 formation, which is customary with the Euro Trophy regulations in terms of the start procedure. And now Hannes Morin puts the brakes on and says, right guys, let's get in line. Let's get into double file formation. They come round turn 13 as some are straggling a little bit at the back part of the field. Yellow flags being waved. The red lights are on the starting gantry. The race director is saying, slow down. The revs rise on the Rotax racing engines, and we go green heading into turn 1. Rundqvist steals a march on Morin, and Matilda Olsson has actually gone round as well, so she's up into second position already. Now where is Mick Knowlton in all of this, as it's nearly 3 abreast coming through turn 4. Well, Matilda Olsson is trying to get up the order and try and get past countryman Mick Knowlton, but look, there's 3-4 wide coming out of turn 6. That was incredibly close. A bit of side pod banging, but everyone got through in the end. But at the front of the field, it is Patrik Rundqvist ahead of Hannes Morin, Matilda Olsson, rounding out a Swedish top 3 as we speak. Leroy Jägersar from the Netherlands might have something to say about that as well. Don't forget about the likes of Robin Knutsson and Philip Vava a little bit further down the order. Mick Knowlton is scrabbling for positions. He's having to defend quite sternly as the Dutchman from the 264 of Novak. As we've got further people trying to go up the inside. Andre Walter, I think, was trying to make a positional move there as well on Stefan Voigtbar. Made the move stick coming through the exit of turn number 4. But at the front of the field, it looks... Oh, there was a bit of a clash there with Mick Knowlton, probably not seeing who was to the left of him. It might have been Andre Walter. There's more contact, and someone's mounted the grass on the outside of turn 8. And that is the 272. And that is Emily de Hoys, who got shoved out off of the exit of coming out of turn 7 into turn 8. And the youngster from the Netherlands had to avoid. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the top 4 separated by just over half a second. Leroy Jägersar getting very racy as Rundqvist gets passed by Matilda Olsson on the exit of turn 4. Great job by the number 232, but Rundqvist is already back on the attack, trying to go up the inside on turn 6. The Swede mounts the curbs too heavily there and loses out quite substantially as Matilda Olsson now hits second position. The fastest lap of the race, however, Mick Knowlton with a 50.612. He's running the back bumper of David Remy as we speak. Roundabout in sort of 8th or 9th position. But leaders coming around turn 12, so it is Hannes Morin leading the race. Matilda Olsson in second place, with Patrik Rundqvist making it a Scandinavia top 3 as they come around to complete another lap. Just under 11 and a half minutes to go, plus 1. Hannes Morin leads from Matilda Olsson, who is actually slightly quicker than her countryman by just under 1/10 of a second. But I don't think it's going to be too long before Hannes Morin. Well, Hannes Morin is going to have to sternly defend. We've got another one off. That's Novak. Novak's off of turn 4 and tries to rejoin. And Karts having to go to the right of the number 264 to avoid. So as the leaders come around turn 11, still Hannes Morin, still Matilda Olsson. That's your top 2. With Rundqvist, Knutsson, Jägersar, Vava, Remy, Knowlton, Novak, Tigson, Buthorn, Franson, Fordbauer, Belhossin and Fabian Bock rounding out the top 15 who score points in this championship. But Matilda Olsson has done a 50.7. She's nearly a tenth quicker than Hannes Morin, but the fastest driver around on the track is Stefan Fordbauer with a 50.566. And that was on lap number 3. We still have plenty of action left to go, but look how close Matilda Olsson is on the back bumper of Hannes Morin. It's a battle royale at the front, and they are dropping Rundqvist like it's going out of fashion. So Olsson is about 2 kart lengths behind, heading into turn 11. She's really got the bit between her teeth as the 232. So that puts her on 20 points for this particular occasion at the moment, but it just depends on how long she can size up and move on Hannes Morin. They come round the final couple of corners. So it looks like Juuso Panttila is going to get a 5-second penalty for pushing very shortly. But Hannes Morin has really got to watch it right now. Here comes Matilda Olsson up the inside on turn 4. Great move there by the 232. She started down in 4th position. She's now leading ahead of her 2 countrymen behind. That's Hannes Morin and Patrick Rundqvist. Oh, yellow flags, double waved yellows, double waved yellows. Someone's in the barriers off of turn 3 on the exit of it. With 9 minutes and 20 to go, driver is luckily enough walking away. That's a really good sign to see. Oh, and there's a car upside down as well. There could be 2 involved. Red flag, red flag. Medical team has been called. Medical team has been called. Well, after a lengthy delay following an incident involving David Remy and Fabian Bock, we now get back underway. Drivers now recirculating here at the 1222 metre facility here at Pro Kart Raceland in Wackersdorf in southern Germany. We've got 9 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock left to go. And so we're ready to get underway. Green flag is now being shown in terms of the timing. So we're just waiting for them all to get through. They're coming through the penultimate hairpin, being told just to slow down. So we can get green flag racing underway safely here in the last final of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy Senior Max Division. And it reverts to the positional order as the last lap before the red flag incident. But the good thing is that both drivers are okay. Fabian Bock walked away and David Remy is conscious and in a bit of discomfort, but we go green yet again, and it's now Battle Royale resumed. And look at the four at the front. Oh, it's kicking off already. And looks like you've got the likes of Rundqvist. You've got Vava behind Matilda Olsson in second, who initially took the lead from Hannes Morin. She's trying to size up that opportunity. She's going to either attack or defend. It's her preference. Well, she's got nothing to lose, but I think she wants to end off the season in the Rotax Max Euro Trophy in style here in Wackersdorf. 7 minutes 37 on the clock remaining in the last Senior Max final of the season. So it's Morin from Olsson. Vava now being passed by looks like Rundqvist for position, but Vava's already trying to get back on the offensive and goes up the inside of the on the Swede, going through turns 13 and 14. Well, yeah, the timer is now at 8 minutes 7 plus an additional lap. So it is Hannes Morin ahead of Mick Knowlton a little bit further down the order, goes a bit wide coming out of turn number 4, but now the Dutchman is up into 6th place, which puts him on 124 points combined. Hannes Morin is on 115, Matilda Olsson on 92. So it looks like the top three is pretty much assured. We've got 7 minutes 30 seconds plus an additional lap. Tim Rolke was a non-starter, but there have been some changes. Belhossin and Franson up into the top 11. Vertela drops down to 17th behind Basil in 16th. As Olsson's at it again. Here she comes. She's absolutely flying. She's quicker than her countryman. She was actually nearly, over a tenth and a half quicker than Hannes Morin, who continues to lead. But when will Matilda Olsson deliver that blow that puts her back out in front, as there's more two-wide action coming out of turn 6? Well, it's literally line astern. There's half a kart length between them. We'll make that not even a front fairing, as Matilda Olsson is on the hunt. And she's gone up the inside on turn 11 on Hannes Morin. So nice work by the 232 from Strawberry Racing. She retakes the lead of the race. But Hannes Morin is going to try and keep in very close proximity. He's doing so coming through turns 13 and 14. But in third place, it is now Philip Vava from Spain. He's got past Patrick Rundqvist. And this is going to allow the Spaniard to try and maintain a fourth place overall in this year's standings. And he took 11 points in the first final of the day. He's now in a combined total of 27 now that he's in third. But right with them now is the 298 of Leroy Jägersar. But in the meantime, looks like Mick Knowlton now up into 5th position. So the day now has a 15-point advantage. So leaders are quite literally the top four are line astern. Morin's putting it up the inside of Olsson to repay the favour on the 232. Drops her down now into second position, but watch out for Philip Vava. You've also got Leroy Jägersar from the Netherlands. It is a very, very heated battle at the front of the field, but whilst they're squabbling, Mick Knowlton is catching. He is closing on the 4 in front. Last time around he was 8.5 tenths of a second behind, but that gap has definitely concertinaed. I think it's going to be at least 6 tenths, maybe even less than half a second. The top 5 come around the final couple of corners. Round turn 13, round turn 14. Everyone hits the throttle hard. And 5-second penalty for the 2.62. That's Stefan Fortbar. Matilda Olsson goes early into turn 2, goes up the inside. Hannes Morin trying to retake first. Oh, Philip Vava, where did that come from? He's got the outside run going into turn number 5 and gets hung out to dry by Morin. Oh, clash from behind on, looks like Leroy Jägersar by Mick Knowlton, who now storms his way through into 4th position. So Morin takes the lead once again. Matilda Olsson in 2nd. Mick Knowlton is just really trying to get as many points on the board as possible, and he's got Leroy Jägersar in front from a fellow countryman. I saw them talking a bit earlier on this morning, having a bit of a laugh and a joke. So 2.62, which is Stefan Voigtbar gets a 5-second penalty as Hannes Morin continues to lead, and there's more moves up the inside. Well, looked like there was a bit of an advantageous move, probably from maybe Rick Boothorn. I'm not too sure, couldn't really quite make it out, but there are plenty of battles, and there's more battles up and down the order. Philip Vava is trying to get stuck in past Robin Knudson. Spaniard can't make it past. He's now dropped down into 6th position as the leaders come round towards the turn number 11. So top 15 with 2 minutes 18 on the clock to go plus an additional lap. Hannes Morin leads from Matilda Olsson. Leroy Jägersar in 3rd. The hard-charging and aggressive Mick Knowlton in 4th position, who's on the verge of capturing the 2018 title, is in 4th. Vava now back up into 5th position, which puts the Spaniard on 22 points so far this weekend, ahead of Robin Knudson, Patrick Rundqvist. So the 3 teammates are battling away like a good one. So Vava ahead of Knudson, Rundqvist, Fransen up into 8th past Rick Boothorn. Mikkel Tigson rounds out the top 10 ahead of Lori Lepai, who's now up into 11th position. Started 21st. So obviously with that altercation between Fabian Bock and David Remy earlier on. Well, look what is going on up at the front of the field. Well, Mick Knowlton's trying to get past. It's nearly 3 wide coming out of turn 12. My goodness, hard in the mouth stuff here at Wackersdorf for the conclusion of the Senior Max season here in Bavaria. But Matilda Olsson has got time ticking away very quickly. She's trying to go round the outside. Well, she went to the outside line to try and get the better turn of pace, and then went to the outside line trying to go sweeping in onto turn 4. Look, it's nearly 3 abreast between teammates going through turn 5. And, well, it looks like Robin Knudson has gone very wide coming out of turn 6. That's allowed other people to try and get past. There are multiple positional changes. But Vava now up into effectively 3rd position. So there's more overtakes. Oh, well, looks like there's a warning flag for the number 219. That's Hannes Morin. Hannes Morin has got a black and white warning flag from race control. And he's now having to quickly look behind him, because watch out for Matilda Olsson, Philip Vava and Mick Knowlton. The top 4 literally almost together. It's going to be 1 lap around next time. The time is going to expire before they even hit turn 8. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's expired. It's this and an additional lap to go. Hannes Morin tries to streak away from Matilda Olsson, but I don't think her and the other 2 behind, Philip Vava from Spain, Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands, I don't think it's going to be enough. Hannes Morin has fought to the bitter end, but it's going to be a perfect weekend hopefully for the Swede, but it depends on what happens behind. Who's going to seize the advantage in just over a lap here at Wackersdorf for the Senior Max second final. Last lap it is. Matilda Olsson is going to try and fight for that victory. She's taking that wider approach. Oh my goodness, Hannes Morin really having to steadily defend. Matilda Olsson goes straight on the brakes and the back end squirms out. But the main thing is she kept it on the black stop ahead of Philip Vava and Mick Knowlton. So just over half a lap remaining. There's more contact a little bit further down the field between, looks like Buthorn and Knutsson, who's lost 4, 5, maybe even make that 6 places. But it's 4 more corners to go. Hannes Morin is just 3 corners away for taking the final win of the season here in 2018. They come over the hump for the final time. Round turn 13, round turn 14. Checkered flag is going to wave. Hannes Morin picks up the double here in Wackersdorf, but it's Mick Knowlton, your 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy Series winner. Congratulations, with 127 points before drop scores and 115 to Hannes Morin. Congratulations to Matilda Olsson as well. What a great fight from the Swede. But let's run you through the final finishing order. Hannes Morin from Sweden does the double here in Bavaria and comes out vice champion for 2018. Matilda Olsson in the 232 secures her place in Brazil in just a couple of weeks' time. Philip Vava takes home 27 points and secures 4th in the title standings, finishing in 3rd, ahead of Mick Knowlton, this year's champion. And it was a 4-5 for GKS Lemons Power with Fazio Franzen narrowly beating Leroy Jägersar. So Rundqvist was in 6th place ahead of Basel, Buthorn, Lepaj, Koppens, Belhossin, Tigson, Knutsson, Van Vark, Schwizazinski, De Hoys, Jägersar actually ending up 17th in the end, ahead of Novak, Walter, Bijendik, Kivi, Jung, Oksana, Histova, Vertela, Van Dijk, Bloom, Furtbayer, Pantler, William Newnham rounding out the finishing order, with both David Remy and Fabian Bock involved in that incident over at turn 3. But your 2018 Senior Max, Rotax Max Euro Trophy champion is Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands.